last week, okay? So your charges now are assault as a domestic violence offense, disorderly conduct as a domestic violence offense, and endangerment as a domestic violence offense. I am going to enter a not guilty plea for you on those charges. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, although not necessarily at court expense. You have the right to be present at all future hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant could issue. You could be tried and convicted in your absence, and if you couldn't be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to appear, you could also lose your right to appeal. In addition, you could be charged with failure to appear as a separate criminal offense. Ma'am, at this time, I am going to release you on your own signature on these charges. I'm going to order that you do not commit any acts of domestic violence, do not possess any firearms or weapons, do not have any contact whatsoever with Brett Adams, and do not go to his residence or workplace. If you have belongings there, you can go back one time with the police to get those. That means you can take my order to the nearest police station near that address, and someone will go with you to get your things. Your next court date is November 26th at 1:30 in the afternoon at Tucson City Court with Judge Millian. I don't know that you're going to get released tonight because I don't know if the felony hold has been taken off of you. My guess is they were waiting for this hearing to happen and then they're going to release the felony hold. So I don't know exactly when you're going to get released, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's tomorrow, okay? All right, do you have any questions about your release conditions or your court date?
No.
All right, good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi, sir, what's your full name?
Oscar Cordova.
Sir, you are here because there is a petition to revoke your probation pending in Tucson City Court. The petition alleges that you were placed on probation for 12 months beginning October 1st of 2024, and that you violated your probation because you did not complete your intake with CSM and you did not complete the substance use evaluation and treatment that the judge ordered. I am going to enter a denial for you. You have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you. In this case, sir, I'm setting bond in the amount of $500 secured. You are ordered not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you must follow all conditions of probation if you're released on this case. Your next court date on this, if you're in custody, will be November 1st at 1:45, and you'll be seen by video. If you're released before then, sir, your court date changes to November 26th at 2 o'clock at Tucson City Court with Judge Cranshaw. If you're not there, a warrant could issue, and you could be charged with failure to appear as a separate criminal offense. Sir, do you have any questions about your release conditions or your court date?
Does it show that I've been incarcerated this whole time? I never got released. When I got sentenced to that probation, I haven't been released. I've still been sitting in the county jail.
Jail, are you able to confirm?
Yeah, I've been here since September 21st. No, I was
September 22nd. So Cameron, I won't say it'll be too long. Hopefully his behavior remains calm with people now.
All right, you've actually been in continuously since September?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so sir, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave the bond on you like I did, because if I leave that bond on you, you're gonna have an attorney and you're gonna get seen sooner. If I take that bond off of you, then you're gonna be representing yourself potentially on this. Then you're looking at, and I don't know exactly when you're gonna be seen by a judge. But when you go to that, when you talk to your attorney, you need to let them know that, and I'm gonna note it on the paperwork, okay?
Your Honor, I I'm in here also on a felony charge, right?
Yes.
It's a class 6. My lawyer is trying to get me in there this month. The last time I seen her, she said she was going to send an email to the judge so I could be going any morning, and her plan is to have me sign the plea and get sentenced the same day. So would this bond stop me from getting released if I was to get sentenced to probation for my felony?
Yeah. All right. So. All right. Then here's what I'll do. I'll release you on this. I'm still going to give you an attorney. I'm going to find that it's in the interest of justice, given the circumstances.
Thank you.
And all of my other orders stay the same. Okay. So I'm giving you an attorney. If you're in custody, November 1st, you'll see the judge. If you're out of custody, November 26th at 2 o'clock. And all right. And I did make a note that the jail confirmed that you've been in custody continuously since September 2024. All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, I mean, it should get dismissed, but I can't dismiss it. He was put on probation and he was never released from custody, so he couldn't have reported. So my guess is that's gonna get dismissed at the video review.
So we wanna
Yes, keep the video review.
keep the video review.
And because there's suspended jail time too.
Sooner within 7 to 21 days, or you don't think we're gonna get to the.
I don't think you're gonna get to the date, but if you do, the other thing is, the attorney talks to him and then talks to the state. I assume they're gonna file a motion to dismiss even before he has a hearing, so. All
Yeah,
right,
next to Jim. Just to inform you that Jason Taylor refused. He was right. He was up next.
Jason Taylor. Oh, Eichenberg, sorry, he's got a couple different names. All right, give me a moment here. So, Mr. Eichenberg, sir, at the jail, I'm going to talk about the defendant who refused to come. What I'm saying right now is not about you. Just hang tight and wait a minute and I'll get to your case, okay?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just want to I don't want to freak you out. So whatever I talk about right now isn't about you. Don't worry, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
It looks like Mr. Eichenberg has refused. This is his third refusal. I'm going to find that he's waived his presence by refusing to attend. And I'm going to go forward and take care of his cases in his absence. He has a case out of Green Valley Justice Court. The charges there are assault as a domestic violence offense, criminal damage as a domestic violence offense, and unlawful imprisonment as a domestic violence offense. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea and set bond in the amount of $500 secured. I'm ordering that he does not commit any acts of domestic violence, does not possess any firearms or weapons, does not have any contact with Frances Perlman, and does not go to her residence or workplace. I'm appointing John Illies to be his attorney, and his name and phone number will be in the paperwork. His next court date in Green Valley is tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. He also has a case out of Consolidated Justice Court. In that case, he's charged with criminal damage. I'm going to find that he waived his presence again. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea. I will set bond in the amount of $100 secured. Hold on, is that what I was doing? I guess that is what I was doing. Okay. So he's got the I'm gonna make sure I did this right. Green Valley. Right, okay, so he's got the Green Valley case. Then on this one, I'm setting bond in the amount of $100 secured. Oh, because this was, something is not right. Did it copy from the wrong case? All right, hold on. I think that the computer system may have copied All right, I think I may have opened the wrong thing. Okay. Now I'm on the justice court case. I think I may have opened the wrong case. He's charged with criminal damage. I'm entering a not guilty plea. I am going to release him on his own signature in that case. And I'm setting an arraignment on November 22nd at 8:30 in the morning at Pima County Justice Court with Judge Steele. He also has 3 Tucson City Court cases. He's charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting arrest, and 2 counts of assault. And he has warrants on those. I am going to find that he waived his presence and enter a not guilty plea for him. I am going to set bond in the amount of $500 secured. I'm ordering no contact with the alleged victims and don't go back to their residence or workplace. I'm appointing the city public defender's office to represent him. His next court date, if he's in custody, is November 1st at 1:45 with Judge Verena, by video. If he's released before then, it changes to November 20th at 9 a.m. at Tucson City Court with Judge Verena. He will receive all of this in writing. All right, that takes care of Mr. Eichenberg, and we don't have to do this again in the morning. All right, sir at the jail, what is your full name?
Anthony Morgan III.
All right. All right, sir, you are here because you've been charged with second-degree murder. I will enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you. Pretrial services tells me that you are in level 2 out of 4 as far as risk is concerned for violent felony offenses. The state is asking for a $500,000 bond. Give me one moment to finish reviewing everything I have here. State, the case that he's held on right now, is it the same charge? It's the same. I think it's the same offense, but it was assault because the person had not passed away. Can you confirm that?
You are that is my understanding.
Okay. So, sir, you're already held on $150,000 bond based on things that are out of the same incident.
Your Honor, because he's already being held essentially on a lesser included offense, and the court can't run the bonds concurrent because that one is already in superior court. I was going to ask for some sort of concurrent bond, but he shouldn't be punished for the lesser included and the in terms of release conditions and the court setting a bond. I guess I'm trying to say he shouldn't be asked to pay a bond on a lesser included offense and the main offense that he's being charged with right now. So I would just ask the court to set the bond at $100,000.
Normally, I'm told I can't or shouldn't set concurrent bonds. My understanding is the exception to that is when it's the exact same incident. It's literally the same case. So whatever bond I set, I am going to make it concurrent to the $150,000 bond that's already in place on Superior Court, Pima County Superior Court, CR 2024-3671. All right. The facts of the offense have not changed, just that the person who was in the hospital passed away. Mr. Morgan is actually a fairly low risk on the risk scales, and $150,000 is a number he has not yet been able to post. For all of those reasons, I think it's appropriate to keep that bond. So in this case, I'm setting $150,000 secured It's concurrent to the one that's already set. If you post that, sir, you're released to pretrial services, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, and submit to the same, to any monitoring or treatment that's directed by pretrial services. I'm going to order that you do not have any contact with the listed victim's family. And you do not go to their residence or workplace. If I didn't say it already, I'm appointing the public defender's office and entering a not guilty plea. Sir, your next hearing on this is a preliminary hearing on November 4th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Sir, that court date is very likely to change. So if you are out of custody, make sure you stay in touch with pretrial and with your attorney so that you know when your court date is. If you miss court, you will get a warrant. Do you have any questions about your court date or your release conditions?
My social security number has been wrong since I've been in here.
Okay, let your attorney know that, and your attorney needs to let the court that's assigned to your case know that. I can't do anything about that. I'm only your
Okay.
judge for tonight.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Your Honor, I've never seen this exception come up that you just addressed. This is the first time ever.
I've only seen it once before, but at that previous time, the jail told me if it's literally the same incident, just added charges, that I can run them concurrent. Hopefully that's correct. Hi, what's your full name?
That's Holly. Yvette Clevenger.
Hi, Holly, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm just not happy to see you in custody.
No, me either. But I didn't really have an option.
Yeah, hold on. I don't want you to say anything that could be used against you, okay?
Okay.
So, counsel, I know Miss Clevenger and I know the alleged victim, and I know them both fairly well. So I have a conflict of interest. Do you have any objection to me continuing this to the morning?
Absolutely not, Judge.
So
No.
basically, Holly, I can't decide whether there's probable cause or not, and I can't set your release conditions because I have a bias. I know you and your mom, okay? And she's the
I know I wasn't. Or I was hoping to go to the transition center or something, or like maybe we can get me into like a rehab or something. ARC.
So talk to your attorney about that. But what I'm going to do for right now is I'm going to continue your hearing to the morning, because I can't be your judge and set your release conditions, but there's a different judge here in the morning who can, okay?
Okay.
So you'll see a judge in the morning, and they'll set your release conditions, and I really do wish you the best.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, your judge, jail records.
Yep.
We tried to get Mr. Lopez Edward to be seen through video from the hospital, but unfortunately that was unsuccessful. So can we continue?
Mr. Lopez.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I've got Edward Lopez, and he's got felonies and other cases. And you said he's at the hospital?
That is correct.
Yes.
All right, so I will continue this to the morning.
And Your Honor,
Yes?
I would just note, I think Mr. Lopez has been in the hospital for quite some time. I think he was continued a few times even before last night when I appeared, but I understand the court's.
Yeah, I can't find that he voluntarily waived his absence since he's in the hospital. There is case law that's not directly on point, but is, I think the clear indication from it is that the 24-hour rule doesn't apply until he's released from the hospital, and that an IA within 24 hours of his release from the hospital is appropriate. So I am going to continue it to the morning.
Your Honor, we just got a message from the lobby saying inmate Lopez is attempting to join the team's. So I'm hoping he will show up. Do you think he's on the line?
It showed that he was.
It showed he was, right?
Did someone just join the teams? They got a message saying that someone tried to join. And I heard a ding.
I don't see anyone else there at this point.
Do you have to let them in, or when they join, do they automatically come in? Okay, but there's nobody there to let in. All right, so we did check and there's nobody on Teams that we can let in at this point. I'm not sure what that was.
They don't submit the end.
So that take, let me see, that was Mr. Lopez's felony.
Yep.
I'm gonna do the same thing on the misdemeanor. The JP case, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on the city case. All right, that takes care of him.
Yes.
All right. We should have Mr. Duarte next, I think. Sorry?
They called his name, Judge.
Oh, I thought somebody said something to me. Hi, what's your full name?
Isaac Duarte.
All right, so Mr. Duarte, you're here on a couple different things. In Pima County Justice Court. Give me one moment here.
Okay.
I feel like I'm missing something. Oh. Oh, shoot.
Your Honor,
All right, hold on. I have a problem on my end. I put Mr. Eichenberg, I put his stuff in Duarte by accident. Okay. All right, I made an error. I opened the wrong document earlier. That's why I was so confused earlier. And I put somebody else's information on yours, sir. Give me a minute to fix that, okay? So.
Your Honor, may I be excused briefly? I'll be right back.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Mr. Eichenberg. This is his justice court case. Okay, so did I publish other ones from Mr. Eichenberg? Can I see? You did publish it. Okay, but he had multiple cases and I don't know what. I don't know which one I messed up. Okay. All right, so on Mr. Eichenberger, it looks like I set a $500 bond in Green Valley. And I'm looking at that, and that is what I meant to do for him. That is correct. So I did not mess up the Green Valley one. Then on his city court case, sorry, on his justice court case. Do you have his justice court file? Can I take a look at that really quick? Okay, I just want to make sure that man, how did I do that? All right, I'm noting, that's correct. This was a criminal damage OR. Okay, I filled out that one correctly. And I filled out his city. So the only thing that's wrong then is Mr. Duarte's. There's back. Thank you. So Mr. Duarte, let me go back here. This is a shoplifting. Okay. All right, Mr. Duarte, I appreciate your patience. Can you give me your full name, please?
Could be Aggravated Duarte.
So you have a warrant out of Pima County Justice Court for failure to appear on charges of shoplifting, failure to appear in criminal trespass. You also have a warrant out of Pima County Justice Court on a charge of criminal trespass. On each of those cases, sir, I will enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, although not necessarily at court expense. On each case, I'm setting bond in the amount of $100 secured. I'm setting your next court date tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon with Judge Ball. I am ordering that you do not go back to the incident location on either case. And I am going to appoint an attorney for you. Going to be William Parvin, and his name and phone number will be in your paperwork.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that takes care of both of your justice court cases. In addition, sir, you have cases pending in Tucson City Court. In one case, you're charged with criminal trespass and disorderly conduct. On the other case, you're charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of a prescription-only drug without a prescription, and failure to appear. On those cases, I'm also going to order a $100 secured bond, so your total bond is $300 secured. I'm ordering that you do not go back to the incident location. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to an attorney, and I'm appointing the city public defender's office to represent the court case. If you're in custody, your next hearing will be November 1st at 1:45, and you'll be seen by video. If you're released from custody before then, your court date changes to November 21st at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at Tucson City Court with Judge Maldonado. You must appear for all future hearings or a warrant could issue. You could be charged with failure to appear as a separate criminal offense. You could also be tried and convicted in your absence. And if you couldn't be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to appear, you could lose your right to appeal. Sir, do you have any questions about your release conditions or your court dates?
No. So am I going to be getting out today or?
No, you're not going to get out until either the assigned judge lets you out or you post bond. And right now it's $300 total.
Okay.
All right. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Man, how did I do that? That really confused me. What's your full name, sir?
Stephen Lane.
All right. Do you recognize me? It's
Understand the voice.
Judge Thurio. I previously represented Mr. Fuller, and again, I have a conflict of interest. His arrest time was around 11 o'clock this morning, so I can continue his hearing till the morning without violating the 24-hour rule. So Mr. Fuller, I can't set your release conditions because I know you too well. It would be a conflict of interest. So I'm going to continue your hearing to the morning and you'll see a different judge then. And you've got cases both in justice court and city court that I'm going to do that on. Okay. So you'll see another judge in the morning. Okay. Good luck, sir.
Martinez.
Hi, sir. What's your full name?
John Martinez.
Right, sir, you're here because you've been charged with criminal trespass. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, although not necessarily at court expense. Sir, I'm going to release you on your own signature. I'm ordering that you do not go back to the incident location. Your next court date is November 19th at 8:30 in the morning at Sahuarita Municipal Court. You must appear for that hearing or a warrant could issue. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, good luck, sir.
Robert's the jail here. Mrs. Myers, Hannah, she won't be able to make it since she's restrained on a board.
Hannah Myers to the morning and find that she can't be brought to court at this time.
Rubio.
in its post adjudication. I am going to set a bond of the amount of $500 secured. I'm ordering that you do not commit any acts of domestic violence, and that I'm guessing you are on probation in that as well. So I'm gonna put, follow all conditions of probation. Or conditions of release that were previously. On that case, sir, I'm going to give you a court date tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon with Judge Ball. He will see you by video if you're in custody. If you're out of custody, you must appear at Pima County Justice Court for that hearing, or a warrant could issue. I am going to appoint you an attorney. It looks like Douglas Taylor is next on the list. I'm going to put his name and contact information in your paperwork. All right, sir, any questions about your release conditions or your court dates?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Taking them off and not giving them to you.
So this is all that I have clear, and then you take back in. Right south of there,
Hi, sir, what is your full name?
Jesse Raymond, Santa Cruz.
All right, so sir, you're here on a couple different things. Let me see. It looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 warrants out of South Tucson Municipal Court. The charges are criminal trespass, theft, failure to appear, 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 criminal trespass, theft, failure to appear. I'm seeing a pattern. Criminal trespass, theft, and failure to appear, shoplifting and failure to appear, shoplifting and failure to appear, shoplifting. Sir, on those cases, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. I am going to appoint Michael Vaughn to represent you. His name and contact information will be in your paperwork. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $2,500 secured, ordering that you do not go back to the incident location. Sir, then you also have a case in Tucson City Court. In that case, it looks like you failed to appear and a warrant issued. You're charged with shoplifting and failure to appear. On that, sir, I am going to, oh, hold on. All right, if I didn't say it, your South Tucson City Court date is tomorrow at 10 a.m. by video. All right, on the city court case, I am going to set bond in the amount of $250 secured. I'm going to order that you do not go back to the incident location. I'm going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. If I didn't say it, I'm entering a not guilty plea. You have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. I'm appointing the city public defender's office to represent you. If you're in custody, sir, your next Tucson City Court case hearing is November 1st at 1:45, and you'll be seen by video. If you're released from custody before then, your court date changes to November 25th at 9 o'clock in the morning with Judge Hale. You must appear for all hearings in this case. If you don't appear, a warrant could issue. You could be charged with failure to appear as a separate criminal offense. You could also be tried and convicted in your absence. And if you couldn't be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to appear, you could lose your right to appeal. Sir, do you have any questions about your bond, your release conditions or your court date?
No.
All right, good luck, sir. Oh, shoot, can I get that one back that I just gave you, Mr. Santa Cruz? I just forgot the reins at the bottom. Thank you. Hi, sir, what's your full name?
Cesar Chavez.
Sir, you're here because you've been charged with it looks like it's not obeying lawful command of a police officer and refusing to provide your true name to a police officer. I will enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, although not necessarily at court expense. Sir, on this case, I'm going to release you on your own signature. I'm ordering that you do not go back to the incident location. Your next court date is November 26th at 9 o'clock in the morning at Tucson City Court with Judge Mayhew. Sir, you must appear for that hearing and all future hearings. If you don't appear, a warrant could issue. You could be charged with failure to appear as a separate criminal offense. You could be tried and convicted in your absence. And if you couldn't be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to appear, you could also lose your right to appeal. And you do have the right to be present at all future hearings. Sir, do you have any questions about your release conditions or your court date? Oh,
No, Mayor.
sorry, I did make a mistake on yours. In addition, you have a warrant on a case where you were charged with criminal trespass, drug paraphernalia, and failure to appear. It's the same release conditions and the same court date on that. I'm entering a not guilty plea on that as well, okay? Good luck, sir.
Thank
I think I forgot to write something on one before that. Mr. Rubio, he had a petition to revoke probation, right? Yes. Can I just see his really quick? I marked that I completed arraignment. No.
Is the jail care?
No.
Okay.
It's literally just so that the next, whoever opens the file next knows that I arraigned. Some IA judges are doing arraignment and some are not. Hi, ma'am. What's your full name?
My name is Jasmine Council.
All right. Do you have a middle name?
Jennifer.
Ma'am, you're here because you've been charged with disorderly conduct and assault. They're both domestic violence offenses. I will enter a not guilty plea for you. You have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, although not necessarily at court expense. Ma'am, you also have the right to be present at all future hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant could issue. You could be charged with failure to appear as a separate criminal offense. You could also be tried and convicted in your absence. And if you couldn't be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to appear, you could lose your right to appeal. On this case, I'm going to release you on your own signature. I'm ordering that you do not commit any acts of domestic violence. Your next court date at Tucson City Court with Judge Million is November 26th at 1:30. Do you have any questions about your release conditions or your court date?
No, ma'am.
Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
That's for restriction. I always give myself a buffer.
Hi, sir. What's your full name? Or ma'am, sorry.
Nikita Dubois. It's okay.
I sincerely apologize. If you can tell, I am wearing reading glasses, which makes it better for me to see close, but then it makes it harder for me to see you. All right, ma'am, thank you for giving me your full name. You are here because you've been charged with disorderly conduct as a domestic violence offense. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, although not necessarily at court expense. You have the right to be present at all future hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant could issue. You could be tried and convicted in your absence, and you could be sent. If you can't be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to appear, you can lose your right to appeal. In addition, you could be charged with failure to appear as a separate criminal offense. Ma'am, I'm going to release you on your own signature. I'm ordering that you do not commit any acts of domestic violence, do not have any contact whatsoever with Janice Riddles, and do not go to her residence or workplace. Your next court date on this is November 26th at 1:30 in the afternoon at Tucson City Court with Judge Millian. Do you have any questions about your release conditions or your court date?
Yes, ma'am. Would I be given paperwork before I leave?
Yes, the jail will give you the paperwork from the hearing before you leave.
Okay, and the date is where the court hearing is on there? Okay, thank you, ma'am.
It'll have the court date and the release conditions written on it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm still getting used to reading glasses.
These are for the world, these are for the computer.
I have contacts for the world.
Maybe.
That's a lot of people, but so I'm treated good. Share what it's my school. So I'm not excited. So excited. This is I have a
Self-defense.
I know, but it's, I got a lot of fruits last time. I need, I'm gonna need help standing up. I'm gonna try really hard to, but once I do that, okay. Do you guys have my paperwork?
Ma'am, what's your full name?
It's Corey Stamatolatos.
All right, do you have a middle name?
It's Ann.
Ma'am, you're here because you've been charged with criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, and failure to comply with a court order. Those are all domestic violence offenses. I am going to enter a not guilty plea for you. You have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. I'm appointing the City Public Defender's Office to represent you. You have the right to be present at all future hearings. If you fail to appear for court, a warrant could issue. You could be charged with failure to appear as a separate criminal offense. In addition, you could be tried and convicted in your absence. And if you couldn't be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to appear, you could lose your right to appeal. Ma'am, on this case, I'm setting bond in the amount of $1,500 secured. I'm ordering that you do not commit any acts of domestic violence, do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, do not possess any firearms or weapons, do not have any contact whatsoever with Maxwell Doolittle, and do not go to his residence or workplace. Your next court date on this is October 30th at 1:30 in the afternoon with Judge Million at Tucson City Court. She's going to see you on both of your cases then. And that court date is the same whether you're in custody or out. If you're in custody, you'll be seen by video. And if you're out of custody, you need to appear at Tucson City Court for that hearing. Do you have any questions about your release conditions, ma'am?
I'm sorry that I was raped, but how do I I'm sorry that I was raped.
Hold on.
I asked.
Hold on. I don't want you to say anything that can be used against you. All I'm asking is, do you have any questions about what your release conditions are or when your court date is?
How do I get my belongings from that residence?
I will authorize you to go back one time with law enforcement to get those. That means you can take my order to a police station that's near that address and someone will go with you to get your things. Otherwise, you cannot go to that address.
I have not. I understand.
All right. Good luck, ma'am.
Can you go on the left side is the side that I can actually get myself to stand where I'm just gonna please get some toilet paper. Please. I can go to the bathroom. Please. I need toilet paper. That was all. That sounds pretty much the situation. Fine.
Hi, sir. What's your full name?
J. Reno Sandoval.
Sir, you are here because you've been charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault as a domestic violence offense and 4 counts of child abuse. I will enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you. Looking at pretrial services is telling me that you are in the lowest risk category for a violent felony offense. I did review the Form 4C intimate partner risk assessment. That one puts you at a high risk. The state is asking for a $65,000 bond. Defense counsel.
Your Honor, as the court correctly noted, Mr. Sandoval does not seem to have any felony history. It follows that he does not have any failures to appear. Your Honor, the victims in the matter did not sustain any injuries. For those reasons, we're asking you to consider release, but if you're not inclined, a $5,000 bond. Thank you.
I find the allegations and the intimate partner risk assessment very concerning. Also the fact, let's see, no. All right. On this case, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $30,000 secured. Sir, if you post that bond, you're released to pretrial services. You are not to have any alcohol or illegal drugs, do not commit any acts of domestic violence, do not possess any firearms or weapons, and you must submit to any monitoring or treatment that's directed by pretrial services. I'm ordering that you do not have any contact whatsoever with the alleged victims and do not go to their residence or workplace, except you may go back one time with the police to get your belongings. That means you can take my order to a police station near that address. Someone will go with you to get your things. If you still possess firearms, sir, they need to be surrendered to law enforcement. Your next court date on this is a preliminary hearing on November 4th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That court date is very likely to change, sir. So if you are released from custody, please make sure you stay in touch with your attorney and with pretrial services so you know when your court date is. If you miss it, you will get a warrant. Do you have any questions about your release conditions or your court date, sir?
No.
All right, good luck, sir. Yeah. You can change it. Can we fax it over to the jail so they give him the right one? Yeah, that's fine. If he already has an attorney, then give him that attorney. Hi, hi, sir. What's your full name?
Hola, señor, ¿cuál es su nombre completo?
A mí no me han leído mis derechos.
I haven't been read my rights.
Sir, I'm the judge and I'm about to do your initial appearance. I need you to tell me your full name.
Señor, yo soy la juez. Apenas vamos a hacer su declaración inicial. Necesito que me dé usted su nombre.
Sir, if you refuse to cooperate, I'm going to continue your hearing to the morning and try again with a different judge.
Señor, si se rehúsa usted a cooperar, vamos a intentar hacer esto en la mañana con otro juez.
Will you give me your full name?
¿Me da su nombre completo?
All right, I'm going to continue the initial appearance to the morning. The defendant is uncooperative.
Muy bien, voy a continuar la comparecencia inicial para la mañana.
All right, jail, is that our only Spanish speaker? The interpreter can be excused then. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Judge.
Hi, ma'am. What's your full name?
Erica Angel Bostic.
All right, ma'am, you're here on a couple different things. First of all, you have a warrant out of Santa Cruz County for failure to appear on felony charges of possession of a dangerous drug and possession of drug paraphernalia. On that, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. Give me one moment here. All right, so, ma'am, I would hold you on a bond if I had an attorney to appoint. But I cannot hold you without bond without, I can't hold you on any bond, without appointing an attorney, and Santa Cruz County has not provided, this court with the information, for any attorney that can be appointed. So, I'm going to note that for the record. That's the only reason I'm releasing you. I will release you on your own signature. I'm ordering that you do not have any alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons. Take it back. I'm not releasing you on your own signature. I'm releasing you to pretrial services. You're released to pretrial services, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, and you must submit to any monitoring or treatment that's directed by pretrial services. Your next court date on this, no, you don't get one of those. You have to contact Santa Cruz County. Give me one moment here. It's Nogales Justice Court, is that correct? Looks like it.
Yes, Judge.
For Nogales Justice Court. Do we have a phone number for them? So I can give it to her to contact them? Okay, so she's supposed to contact Superior Court though? All right. Sure. So what I'm going to order, ma'am, is that you must contact the Nogales Justice Court by 4:00 p.m. on Friday, October 25th to get a court date. And you must appear for that court date. So ma'am, let me explain how this works. We tell Nogales Justice Court that we saw you, we released you, and we ordered you to contact them. If you don't contact them and you don't show up there, they issue another warrant. You could get arrested on this warrant over and over again for the rest of your life if you don't go take care of it. You need to call them and you need to take care of the warrant. If you can't get there in person, ask them if you can be seen by video or by phone or something. But don't just ignore this case unless you want to keep getting booked in the jail 1,000 times, okay? We're going to the clerk is going to put the phone number for the court in your paperwork so that you have it. If for any reason you don't get it, please look it up, Google it, okay? And make sure you call them.
All right, I put the number in the chat.
Oh, for the Nogales Justice Court?
Yes, Judge.
Oh, fantastic. I can't actually see the chat though.
Oh.
It's okay. The clerk will make sure that's in the paperwork that you get, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, there it is. Never mind. I will type it in right now. 520-375-7760. All right, ma'am. You also have a case in Tucson City Court. You're charged with criminal damage, disorderly conduct, and failure to appear. In that case, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, although not necessarily at court expense. This case has been pending since 2022 and you have never appeared for court ever. So I'm going to make a slight change. I'm going to set a bond on the Tucson City Court case in the amount of $500 secured. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm going to order that you do not go back to the incident location. Again, I'm entering a not guilty plea for you. You have the right to an attorney, and I'm actually going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you. You also have the right to be present at all future hearings. If you fail to appear, a warrant could issue. You could be tried and convicted in your absence, and if you couldn't be sentenced within 90 days because of your failure to appear, you could lose your right to appeal. You could also be charged with failure to appear as a separate criminal offense. Ma'am, your next court date on this, if you're in custody, is November 1st at 1:45, and you'll be seen by video. If you are released from custody before then, your court date changes to November 21st at 2:00 in the afternoon. That's with me. I'm Judge Surio, and you must appear for that hearing. Also going to order that you don't have any contact with any alleged victims and do not go to their residence or workplace. Then I'm going to go back to that felony case. Instead of saying you need to contact them by 4:00 this Friday, I'm going to say that you need to contact them by 4:00. You need to contact them within 2 business days of your release from custody.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I was picked up on the one case that you're talking about with the disorderly conduct. And I was told that it was dismissed. By the time we got here, there was no trace of it. I don't know if there was like a conflict or something about.
Ma'am.
And so I wasn't aware that I had the court date.
At the time that you were charged, you were given a court date on the citation of April 7th, 22, and you didn't show up for that. A warrant issued, you were arrested on the warrant and seen by a judge on November 10th of 2023. He gave you a court date of December 7th, 2023, and you didn't appear for that hearing. I was the judge at that hearing, and I actually set an order to show cause instead of issuing a warrant to give you another chance to come to court. You missed another court date. So I don't know what to tell you, but I have the paperwork here that shows you were given these court dates. So I'm not going to change my decision tonight, ma'am. You can talk to your attorney and ask them to put in a motion to change your release conditions. But I am finding that it's necessary to set a bond for you to appear in court based on your history of failure to appear, both in city court and in general. All right, ma'am, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Good luck. Hi, sir. What's your full name?
Nicholas Deshkiewski.
All right, sir, you're here because you're charged with aggravated domestic violence, 2 counts of aggravated harassment as a domestic violence offense because of having the same victim as a prior case, and then 1 count of aggravated harassment as a domestic violence offense because it's in violation of an order of protection and stalking. I will enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Pretrial services is telling me that you are in the lowest level risk category for a non-violent felon, or sorry, for a violent felony offense. The state is asking for a $10,000 bond. Give me one moment to finish reviewing what I have. It does appear that you are pending probation revocation proceedings in domestic violence offenses in Tucson City Court as well. Defense counsel.
Your Honor, so from the pretrial services report, it looks like Mr. Deshkiewski has a good history of appearing in court. There are no failures to appear in the past 2 years. There's no NVCA flag. The court just noted that there is a probation revocation matter pending. Your Honor, I don't believe there is an allegation that the victim sustained physical injury. So given those factors, Judge, we are asking you to give him one more chance, but we understand if you're not inclined, we ask that you set the bond at $2,000. Thank you.
I think the state's recommendation is appropriate. This defendant is alleged to have violated a court order. He is on probation with probation revocation proceedings pending for domestic violence offenses against the same victim. One of them is also violating a court order. I think it is clear that he has a serious risk to reoffend and risk to the victim. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $10,000 secured. Sir, if you post that, you're released to pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons, and submit to any monitoring or treatment that's directed by pretrial services. I want to be very, very clear with you that you are not to have any contact whatsoever with the listed victim. None at all. And you cannot go to her residence or workplace. I want to be clear, sir, that every time you do that, you are going to be charged with another offense, and my guess is your bond will go up each time. Your next hearing on this is a preliminary hearing on November 4th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That court date is very likely to change, so if you are released from custody before then, stay in touch with your attorney and with pretrial services so that you know when your court date is. If you miss it, you will get a warrant. Do you have any questions about your release conditions or?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I'm also ordering that you follow all court orders. All right. Good luck, sir. Okay. Mr. Escobar has a lot going on. Hi, sir. What's your full name?
Michael Puscaldo.
All right, sir, you are here on several things. I'm going to start with your felony charges. You are charged with aggravated shoplifting, possession of drug paraphernalia, and organized retail theft. I will enter a not guilty plea for you. You have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you. Pretrial services tells me that you are in the highest risk category for a nonviolent felony offense. The state is asking for pretrial services release. Give me one moment. All right, defense counsel, frankly, I'm not inclined to release him. And just so the parties know, the next cases I'm going to deal with, he has a warrant out of Pima County Justice Court for a shoplifting in 2020 that he has failed to appear on. He has a warrant out of Nogales City Court for a warrant for a shoplifting charge from 2022 that he's failed to appear on. He has a warrant out of Sahuarita Municipal Court for a shoplifting offense from 2021 that he's failed to appear on. And he has a warrant out of Marana Municipal Court for shoplifting and failure to appear from 2020 and 2023 that he's failed to appear on. I'm concerned about his risk to reoffend and his risk of failure to appear. Defense counsel?
So, Your Honor, as to the aggravated shoplifting, it's my understanding that he has to have convictions to be indicted on the aggravated shoplifting statute, specifically the 13-1805I. I know it cites to A1, but I think in the interim complaint with the facts, it is alleging, the officer is alleging that he had committed/convicted 2 shoplifting offenses in the last 7 years. But, Your Honor, having reviewed the case, I think a conviction is required because he's presumed innocent on the warrant cases. So, Your Honor, with that, we are asking for one last chance. I did talk to Mr. Escobar. He's having some difficulty understanding warrants. He didn't seem to know that we could always call the court if we missed a court date to set up a motion to quash hearing. So for those reasons, Judge, we're asking you to give him one more chance on pretrial.
I wanted to know if there was a veterans court. I'm a veteran. If I could deal through the veterans somehow to help me.
Sir, there's no veterans court for the felony charge. On the misdemeanors, you can certainly ask the assigned judges if they're willing to transfer it to the regional municipal veterans court. So I'm looking at the statute and it makes it aggravated shoplifting if the person has committed or been convicted of 2 or more. The fact that the legislature specified 2 alternatives, one of which is committed but not convicted, tells me that they did not mean to limit this to people with convictions. Probable cause on this one. Does the state want to be heard at all on this one?
Your Honor, I don't think I have anything.
Your Honor, may I make a brief record? I believe this operated similarly in the TV context. I believe the case is State v. Gaynor Fontes, GAYNOR-FONTS, where the Court of Appeals specifically found that convictions are required, but I'll defer to the court.
All right. And you're saying that was in the domestic violence context?
Correct, Judge, which required 2 or more DV convictions.
I am very torn because it's an extremely rare situation that I hold someone that the state is recommending I release. The problem is the law requires me to set the least onerous release conditions that will assure his appearance in court and will protect the safety of the community. I don't believe that he will appear in court if he's released on his own signature. So I am going to set a bond on this case. Given the nature of the charges and his status, my understanding is that he is disabled. I'm going to set a very low bond. I'm going to set it in the amount of $500 secured. Sir, if you post that bond, you're released to pretrial services. You're not to have any alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, and you must submit to any monitoring or treatment that's directed by pretrial services. Your next court date on this is a preliminary hearing on November 4th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That court date may change. So if you do post bond and get released from custody, sir, you need to make sure you stay in touch with pretrial and with your attorney so you know when your next court date is. If you miss it, you will get a warrant. On the Marana Municipal Court case, sir, you're charged with failure to appear and shoplifting. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, although not necessarily at court expense. On that case, sir, I am going to release you on your own signature in order that you do not go back to the incident location. Your next court date on this one is going to be tomorrow at noon. You'll see Judge McDonald by video if you're in custody. If you're out of custody, sir, you need to appear for that hearing or a warrant could issue. On the Nogales City Court case, you're charged, you have a warrant for failure to appear. The underlying charge is shoplifting. I'll enter a not guilty plea for you. On that case, sir, you do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, although not necessarily at court expense. I'm going to release you on your own signature on that case. I'm going to set a court date of November 6th at 9 a.m. But I'm going to note that you may be in our jail on the felony charges. So hopefully if you're not there, the judge will check that and see that. I am ordering that you do not go back to the incident location on that case. In Sahuarita Municipal Court, sir, you have a warrant. The underlying charge is shoplifting. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. You have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, although not necessarily at court expense. On that one, I will also release you on your own signature and order that you do not go back to the incident location. I'm going to set a court date on that one of October 29th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And you will be seen by video if you're still in custody. If you're out of custody, sir, you do need to appear for that hearing or a warrant could issue. Finally, sir, on the Pima County Justice Court case, I am going, you have a warrant for failure to appear on a shoplifting charge. I'll enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, although not necessarily at court expense. Again, on this one, I'll release you on your own signature in order that you do not go back to the incident location. On that one, your next court date is November 22nd at 8:30 in the morning at Pima County Justice Court. Again, I'll note on here that you're being held on the felony so they can check and see if you're still in custody if you miss your hearing. If you're not in custody and you're not there, sir, a warrant will issue. And again, do not go back to the incident location. Do you have any questions about your release conditions or your court dates, sir?
The clerk, so you get the 10%. We talk about it. No, I'm fine. I'm sorry.
All right. Good luck, sir. Hi, sir. What's your full name?
Kenneth Lloyd F. III.
All right, sir, you are here because you've been charged with aggravated domestic violence, aggravated harassment as a domestic violence offense. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you. Pretrial services tells me that you are in the lowest risk level for a violent offense. The state is asking for a bond of $25,000. Defense counsel.
Your Honor, Mr. Yvette has no NBCA flag. Most importantly, pretrial services was able to get input from the victim. She does not object to release from custody, and she also wants contact at this time. Given those factors, Your Honor, I think we are asking you to consider releasing Mr. Yvette to pretrial services supervision, and I'll defer to the court on the contact part, Judge. But he is requesting contact because the victim is requesting contact and they have children together.
All right. So I have to balance the fact that he is a low risk, according to pretrial services risk assessment, and he appears to have no prior felony offenses, and the victim is asking for release and contact, with the fact that he does have 2 prior misdemeanor domestic violence convictions, both of which involve the same victim.
Your Honor, if I maybe hear briefly.
Yes.
Your Honor, this has not been charged as a DV, aggravated assault, impede airway, but the victim made statements to that effect that are included with the interim complaint. That's concerning, and that's part of the reason for the higher bond that the state is asking for. Those allegations are associated with lethality for the victim in this case, given his misdemeanor DV history, and those reports we would be asking for.
I'm also going to note that those 2 DV convictions are from the offenses happened in 2019. And I do not have a Form 4C intimate partner risk assessment. Sir, on this case, I am going to release you to pretrial services based on all the reasons that I gave. However, even though she wants contact with you, I'm not going to allow you to have contact with her. So I need to be very, very clear with you, sir, that you cannot have any contact whatsoever with Rumor Jensen. If you have contact, you are violating a court order. It is a new criminal offense, and it's a violation of your release conditions in this case. And that's true even if she invites the contact, even if she wants contact. You can certainly talk to your attorney and ask them to file a motion to revisit the contact in Superior Court. That judge will have a lot more information than I have today. But I'm kind of splitting this and saying, I'm going to address my concerns by prohibiting contact instead of holding you on a bond. Please be aware that, you really can't have contact. So I'm releasing you to pretrial services. I'm ordering no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons, and submit to any monitoring or treatment that's directed by pretrial. Like I said, no contact with Rumor Jensen, and do not go to her residence or workplace. Your next court date on this is November 4th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Sir, that court date is likely to change, so please stay in touch with your attorney and with pretrial services. That way they can tell you if your court date changes. If you have a changed court date and you miss it, you're going to get a warrant, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions about your release conditions or your court date?
How do I go about seeing my kids if I can have no contact?
Okay.
I don't have family out here. It's just me. I'm the only one out here.
So hold on, let me, I just realized there's one thing I didn't say, which is I am giving you permission to go back one time with the police to get your belongings. That means you can take my order to a police station near that address. Someone will go with you to get your things. You have children in common?
Yeah, we have 3.
All right, what I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna order that you have no in-person contact with her. So that will allow you to talk to her on the phone or by text message or something. You can arrange for a third party. Like you can arrange for, hey, she's gonna drop the kids at her mom's and you're gonna pick them up there or something like that. But I want no in-person contact, okay? All right, any other questions, sir?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck. Yes. Oh. All right, that was the defendant I just saw, right? I'm so sorry. Can you, Jail, can I see Mr. Everett again? I gave him the wrong court date. That was my error. Yeah. And this is only gonna take, like 2 seconds. It'll be very quick. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, November 4th. Right? Yeah. November 4th.
All right, so sir, all I did is I gave you the wrong court date. I gave you the court date you would have gotten if you were held on a bond. Your next court date is actually November 12th at 1:30. Everything else that I said stays exactly the same, okay? All right, thank you, sir. All right, sir, what's your full name?
Arnoldo Vasquez Flores.
So, sir, you're here because two things. First of all, you're charged with a felony of aggravated shoplifting. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney. I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you. Pretrial services tells me you are level 2 out of 4 for the risk assessment for nonviolent felony offenses. The prosecutor is asking me to release you to pretrial services. Given the information in the report, I do think that's appropriate. So, sir, I'm going to release you to pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons, and submit to any monitoring or treatment that's directed by pretrial services. I'm also going to order that you do not go back to the incident location. So wherever it is that they're saying this shoplifting happened, the Home Depot on Costco Drive. Sir, on this one, your next court date is going to be November 12th at 1:30 in the afternoon, except that court date is actually likely to change. So you need to stay in touch with your attorney and with pretrial. That way you know when your next court date is. If you miss it, you will get a warrant. Sir, you also have charges in Marana. First of all, there's a warrant on Marana for shoplifting and failure to appear. And then it looks like the police actually split the charges for the new offense. They sent the shoplifting to Superior Court and the criminal trespass to Marana. Make sure that you talk to your attorney about that because they're the same incident but different cases. On these Marana cases, I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. You do have the right to remain silent and the right to an attorney, although not necessarily at court expense. I'm going to release you on your own signature. I'm ordering that you do not go back to the incident location on either offense. And I'm giving you a court date of November 20th at 10 a.m. That court date is not going to change, sir. You do need to appear for that hearing. If you're not there, a warrant could issue. Sir, if you can't get to Marana because it's too far away, please contact them. The Judge McDonald may be willing to see you by video or by phone or give you a different court date. Just don't ignore it, okay? Any questions about your release conditions or your court dates, sir?
It's okay, thank you.
All right, good luck, sir. All right, that concludes our calendar. Thank you all.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good evening. Thank you, Matt.